All right, we have officially hit 8 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm actually coming to you live from the West Coast this month, so it's 5 o'clock out here on the West Coast, and we're ready to get started. Welcome to the webinar. If you're listening and hearing me, you're arrived at the webinar, which our title this week or this month is The Ingredients to Build Your Personal Brand. 7 questions, 1 condiment, and 5 tips to build your personal brand, to be exact. And there's nothing more important than your personal brand because it is you. It's who you are, and it's how you get noticed, and really it's how you get hired in any industry. But tonight it's going to be in the sports industry for sure. Before we get started and get too deep in here, I just want to make sure that everything's working for everybody. So if you guys could just put your name and where you're from in the question box, I'm going to be able to, that way I'll make sure you're able to hear me okay, and that the question box is going to be working. So go ahead and throw your name and where you're from in that question box, and then once I see some names in there, then we'll be able to get going. And I know you guys can hear me okay. I got Joy Madison from Los Angeles. I got Kurt from Austin, Art in Charlotte, and Mickey in LA. Got a couple people from LA. That's good, as obviously everybody can hear me and I can see your questions. And the reason that that box is obviously so important is because we want you guys to ask as many questions and plenty of questions throughout the entire webinar, just so that we can do our best to answer every single one of them. And I'll be monitoring the webinar as the co-host, so to speak, and figuring out which questions are the best, and we'll do our best to answer every single one of them. So even if you have a question during the webinar, if something comes to you, then feel free to please ask it right away, and I'll have it saved, and we'll be able to answer them at the end of the webinar when we do our Q&A in the last 15, 20 minutes or so. So please ask as many questions as you can in the chat box. And we will be providing a replay as long as the technology works. But I have remembered to hit the record button, so as long as GoToWebinar records for us, we'll be having a replay, and I will be emailing you that tomorrow, so check out that as well. A little bit of introductions here. I am Steve Richards, currently the COO of Sports Networker and the Sports Executives Association, which is Sports Networker's membership site. I started here as an intern and then just moved up from there pretty much and stuck with it, and now I am where I am today. I also do work as a podcast host about fantasy football. I actually just came from that. And I also run my own blog at stephenrichards.net. So I'm slowly but surely building out my own brand and getting noticed as a result. I've done a couple interviews for Forbes magazine and BBC Radio recently, so my personal brand is working. I'm getting there slowly but surely, but I'm excited to hear what Mike has to say about building your personal brand. And speaking of Mike, he knows exactly what it takes to create a personal brand. He's revolved his personal brand around hot dogs, and he's become incredibly successful with it. And that, like I mentioned in the title, he has 7 questions that you should ask yourself when building your personal brand. 1 condiment that you should consider as well, and then 5 things that Mike wish he knew before he built his personal brand. So he's going to tell you what you should know before you start to really build out and learn your personal brand. So without any further ado, I'm going to let Mike take over and tell us what all those things are. So go ahead, Mike.
Steve, thank you, thank you.
You
Hey,
got it, Mike.
everybody. Glad to be here tonight. Appreciate the kind words, Steve, and looking forward to talking to everybody tonight. So put on your thinking caps because I have some questions to ask you that I really want you guys to dig deep about tonight, and some stuff that I wish I knew because it could have saved me time, it could have saved me money. I could have done a lot of things that I wish I knew before I built my personal brand. So let's get started tonight. Once again, for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Mike Rudd. I can be found at marketingfunwithmike.com, and my personal brand is Marketing Fun with Mike. And I like to call myself a hot dog extraordinaire. Let's
Extraordinaire.
jump in tonight. So tonight, Marketing Fun with Mike and the SEA proudly present to you the Personal Brand Ingredients Cookbook. And as Steve alluded to, this is 7 questions that you want to ask yourself when you're starting to build out your personal brand. And if you want to get thinking about what is my personal brand, what exactly are we talking about here? It's the new resume. It's with you everywhere you go. It can differentiate yourself from the competition. It can move your resume to the top of the stack when applying for a job. It can help you get noticed to make an impact and a difference in the world. It gives you the opportunity to land your dream job. There's so many different things a personal brand can do. So we're going to delve into some questions to ask yourself to help build them. Then I prefer mustard, one condiment to dabble on there. Of course, if I'm a hot dog extraordinaire, you got to throw that in there a little bit. That will kind of solidify the questions and give you an action plan and where to take it from there. And finally, as I said earlier, 5 things I wish I knew before I built my personal brand that hopefully if you're just starting or just a little ways through, you can catch some of those and not make the same mistakes, or not necessarily all mistakes, but just make it more efficient, make it more lean, and know exactly where you're headed and where you're going. So let's get going. Like I said, what's in it for you to attempt to build this? I'm going to just quickly tell you my story in terms of building a personal brand and what it's helped me do. Since I started building it at the radio station, my billing at the radio station sales has gone from $350,000 billing in a year to almost $1.8 million in a year. And every year since I started building my personal brand, I've done at least $1 million in revenue at the radio station.
Some numbers that could catch your attention.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't do it for that reason, but as I started doing it, I realized I was getting leads. People were finding me. Clients that I was already working with were noticing things that, this guy's not just another sales guy who's coming in here trying to schlep around a product. He wrote a book on marketing. He understands the human element to our business, and he realizes that he wants to come in here and help build an idea from the ground up to help impact our business and our community. And that started moving slowly but surely my revenue up and up. It's also, outside of the radio station, been able to help establish myself as a marketing expert blogger, an author after writing 2 books, a public speaker. And from a personal standpoint, just I am who I am. I'm having fun out there, doing my thing. I'm enjoying each day for everything that it is. And I'm a pretty laid back and genuine person, I like to believe, and that has been able to come through. And that's good to have. And now with my Marketing Fun with Mike specialty is a passion project builder. That's what I do at Marketing Fun with Mike. My tagline is helping you live the life you want to deserve. And I have a couple of programs that are coming out in the very short future that are going to help you focus on that goal. But the thing that I do from a consulting standpoint and from helping businesses at the radio station is I think everybody has that idea in their head of something that they've always wanted to do, that passion project that they just wish they could do. They talk to their friends about it at a happy hour. They think about it in their head during a morning run, but then it never really turns into anything. I've had those, only I built them from the ground up and turned them into realities and turned them into action, taking them from being on the bench into being the star of the game. And that's what I help people do now, both individuals and companies. All that stuff, all that groundwork I've laid with my personal brand has resulted in things like that. So it clearly has an impact in what you do and how you operate. And I'm telling you right now, it can do for you whatever you want it to. But you got to put in the time, you have to put in the energy necessary. This is not a quick fix. This is something that I am still far away from where I believe it can go and where I want it to go. So let's get going on the questions. Because really with a question, these questions, you got to get your foot in the door, open the door, and start taking that first step. Lao Tzu said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. And that's what we want to do tonight with these questions. I want you guys to all be ready to take that first step towards building the personal brand. If you've already started, maybe these questions are going to show you where you want that personal brand to go. But the journey of life starts somewhere, and the step starts tonight. So let's build the personal brand. Number one, what is one moment that happened in your life that is unique from the rest of the world? For myself, not many people have sold 75,000 hot dogs in college to go to business school. That's a unique point about me. My friend Anthony, who speaks all over the world and is just an outstanding writer and consultant, he in his former life was the front man of a grunge rock band. And he talks in his keynote about having brain surgery in LA, a emergency surgery, the night he was mistakenly taken for Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and kissed by another man who mistook him for it and was a big fan. That's also kind of unique. Most of you, I'd say every single one of you know, Michael Jordan became the best basketball player in the universe after getting cut from his JV high school team. That's just amazing when you really think about it. I know we've been told that story our whole lives, but think about it. He was now some may argue not anymore, but at least one of the top 5 basketball players in the history of the universe. And as a sophomore in high school, he got cut from his high school team. So let me ask you again, what is one thing for you? What is one moment that happened in your life that is unique from the rest of the world? Number 2, how can you craft that moment into a fun story that people will be interested in hearing? So my hot dog story. 75,000 hot dogs, who cares? It's a little bit more interesting, though, when you hear that I learned there to always have a job that I was passionate about, and over a dozen years later, I've held true to that notion, and I've even written and published 2 books about my hot dog stand theory. That gives it a little bit more zip and a little bit more zap to it. A mentor of mine in the writing world, Chris Guillebeau, he has a great blog and website, and he has a unique story of visiting every country in the world. But a lot of people travel and have travel blogs. His has a lot more impact because he tells the stories of the countries he's visited and does interviews with people or profiles on small towns or cities that none of us have ever heard of. And the fact that he did most of it with frequent flyer miles is a little bit more interesting. So the question you want to ask yourself is, how can you turn your interesting moment, your unique moment, into a story? Into a story that people will be interested in hearing. Number 3, what do you want to be branded as an expert in? You're creating a personal brand to hopefully become an expert in something. You need to decide what you want to be known as an expert for. For myself, I didn't want to be known for just having the lowest rate on a radio package in the sales world. So at the launch of my personal brand, it all revolved around fun and strategic marketing ideas and tips to put a marketing twist on a sales guy's career. But here's the big key. That made sense and aligned with my career and where I was trying to go. If I had specialized in becoming an expert in bike riding between major cities, would have been a very fun Instagram account and an entertaining blog, but I don't know if it probably wouldn't have helped my radio sales career very much. So the question you need to ask is, what would you enjoy building your personal brand around to become an expert in that? And that would also benefit in your career growth forever, wherever you want to go in your life. And here's the thing to think about with where you want to go. When you're out walking in the woods, nature, things going around you every single day, it doesn't matter. They don't care about you. The only thing that really cares about you is your close friends, your close family, and yourself. The trees don't care what you do, so go ahead and do it. Go ahead and choose the path you want to take in your life. Go ahead and choose what you want to be branded as an expert in, not what you think the rest of the world wants you to do or what you've been told that's probably the path you should take. The only person that can stop you from carving your own path and going your own way is yourself.
Talk
Let's
about
go with
something that talk about some just real quick. Talk about something that we've heard 100 times before, but when you actually sit down and think about it, it actually makes a complete amount of sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and none of this should be forced, I don't think, right, Steve? None of it should be, uh, well, I could force this, and it should just be a natural progression of events that evolves this into. That's what I did with mine. I think that's what you did with yours.
Absolutely, no, absolutely, yeah. For me, it's when you got it.
Absolutely. So let's jump on to number 4. What are you going to do differently than all those other experts in that particular field? Because unfortunately, there are already experts in every single area you can think of. I am pretty sure that there's a lot of stuff out there in this world and on the internet. But if you do it differently than those experts and better and create more value, then it doesn't matter. For myself, the hot dog month videos that I did for hot dog month this year, National Hot Dog Month was in July if you didn't know that I put on my YouTube page every day. And what I did the year before, which was 31 ways to eat a hot dog in 31 days. That is one example. Marketing for myself to my clients specifically and to individuals like you guys to help you build your community idea from the ground up and turn it into a reality. And my genuine spirit for everyone to experience the adventure of the world in their own way, that's what I believe. Things like that set me apart from other marketers. It doesn't make me better, just makes me different. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what will you do differently in your area of expertise while creating value for your clients or your company or whoever you are serving? Number 5, don't forget about this one. What the heck are they going to call you? You need a name and a good one. You please, please, all of you out there, pick a better one than Marketing Fun with Mike. Though, I don't know about that one. Like I said, I'll make fun of it. The hot dog extraordinaire title, especially with the flame coming up in the opening slide, I'll stick with that. That one's pretty good.
Yeah,
But
everybody likes a flaming hot dog.
My friend, yeah, who doesn't like a flaming hot dog, right? My friend Don Snyder, though, rarely answers to his name because he's known as the idea guy. And what do we think about when we think about the CEO of Sports Networker and the SEA, Lewis Howes? Passion? Anything else come to mind, Steve?
Certainly the School of Greatness that he's done in LinkedIn. He's done all sorts of stuff in his entrepreneurial world.
There's just certain words and thoughts, yeah, LinkedIn, that just get associated with him. It's hard, you think about Richard Branson, the words version spit right out of your mouth but
Absolutely.
he has truly built a virgin brand. I grew up 30 years ago, 25 years ago when I was growing up. I mean, it was just, I just heard of these videos or CD stores, and it's just so much more than that. Their whole philosophy, everything they stand for. So it kind of sticks with you. So think about and envision what you're going to be called. It's almost, I don't know, a little bit like your superhero name. Clark Kent, Superman. So come up with something catchy, fun, authentic, and valuable. And please, sorry, I'm going to go back on this. Check the domain availability for this though before you decide on one, because if you want to have a website, a blog, anything else, you want your name to match your URL as close as possible. So don't jump right into it and then realize that, oh man, that's already taken on every single social media outlet. It's copyrighted. It's the domain's not available. Check that stuff out. And if it's not meant to be, move on and find another one. So number 6, what do I want to come from this? Set some goals of what you want to get out of creating this personal brand. Like I said earlier, it's going to be hard work. It's going to be a lot of energy. You do deserve to get something out of it. And you need to have goals to try to reach. And I'm only going back to myself time and time again here. People, not to talk about myself because I don't really enjoy that, but just I want to give you, I don't want to just sit here and tell you what to do. I want to tell you what I did and how it's worked and the processes that I've used. But for myself, I wanted to separate myself from the pack of other media reps who were just selling ad rates in packages in first Central Ohio, eventually the whole state, the Midwest, and then the entire country. I also wanted to grow my billing at the radio station as a direct result of creating Marketing Fun with Mike. And finally, from a personal level, I really, really wanted to help inspire people through my blog, my books, my programs of building things from the ground up and my consulting to launch something based on what they learned from a marketing standpoint from my personal brand. I want to help people. And that's the whole reason why I do what I do. And I have a long ways to go, but I've accomplished in some capacity so far all these goals. So I would implore you, what goals would you like to try to achieve as a result of you putting in the work and the time to build this personal brand? Finally, number 7, what platforms am I going to use? Are you going to have a website and a blog? What social media outlets are you going to choose to focus on and hopefully pull and not push people with your message? You could do podcasts, webinars, teleseminars. You could have a physical newsletter. You could have an e-newsletter. You could do YouTube. You could simply do images. You could have physical products. They're all options. But what I would advise is choose just a couple to start. I chose blogging and social media. Then a year and a half later, I added in a book. Then a website and podcasts. Then my e-newsletter, now YouTube. But I would advise just to start, pick a couple to focus on and ones that you're comfortable with. So what platforms do you want to begin with to let your story of your personal brand, once you reach that point, be heard? And to wrap up the condiment, what will I do to enhance it once I created it? Nothing builds traction and value more than actually taking action and building something that you talk about in the community that you're attempting to serve and to help. Now, I can sit here all day long and talk about fun marketing, community-based ideas, but my personal brand was enhanced so much when I actually started taking some of those ideas I had long thought about or I had long told a client or a friend to do and actually turn them into realities in the community in which I live, in which I serve. And that's what you have to do. You have to actually not just talk the game, but you got to walk and do it. And that's about committing action over and over again. So let's jump in now on 5 things I wish I knew before I launched my personal brand. Number 1, decide on a niche target of who you want to help and start there. Because this is something that I made a mistake on. I chose marketing. It is extremely difficult to just write and create content and value about marketing because there's so much of it. And instead of nobody being a possible client, customer, everybody is. And that's just as hard. It's too broad, and my writing was all over the place as a result of it. One day I would write about sales. One day I would write about fun marketing ideas. One day I would write about inspiration. It wasn't bad other than the fact I just didn't know where to go, and I wasn't able to help the same people or the right people over and over again. So now my focus is on helping individuals live the lives they want and deserve, and help companies and individuals build out and market their community project or idea and turn it into an actual reality. Because to me, that's fun marketing. So I've created a niche there in who I'm trying to help. I would advise you to do the same thing. Number 2, get creative. Simple. The more creative, funny, and yourself that you are, the more people will entertain the chance to hear what you have to say or care about what you're trying to do. I didn't do this on purpose, but I was honestly a little stuffy and too serious for my own self when I created Marketing Fun with Mike. And guess what? Fun marketing is not supposed to be stuffy and serious. So I started creating things like 31 ways to say hot dog in 31 countries for National Hot Dog Month. Then a thing I'm doing right now on social media is I built the top 20 salesy sales movie characters of all time list, and I'm counting them down. We're at number 9 right now. I think Jack Lemmon from Glengarry Glen Ross was last week.
That's fun.
And it's great. I probably should have done a top 50. You know, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
I do the not as easy as ketchup or mustard question of the week. You have no limitations, and you can be as imaginative as you want because it's yours. Let your creativity run wild. Number 3, movements happen. They do. I promise you. But we often don't tell the story of the work, the dedication, and the toil behind them before it became a movement. There literally are no overnight successes. You have to work at it relentlessly. So know that the movements happen, but it's not just as easy as setting up a URL, a Facebook page, starting a chapter of a book, and then people just flock to you. Work at it relentlessly, and it's going to take time and true dedication. Number 4, small steps. The best way to ensure your success is to just take one small step every day instead of one big step a week, or dedicate a whole day once a month to just work on it relentlessly and not do anything else. If you can do one thing every single day, no matter how big or how small, towards the creation and implementation of your personal brand, I promise you'll be shocked at how quickly it all starts to come together. And number 5, make it whatever you want. Don't try to conform to what you think your clients or your prospects or a potential employer or your family wants. It needs to be the raw you. the completely 100% you, and the all authentic you. As long as you create value, you're a kind person, and you're dedicated, it can be whatever the heck you want it to be. And that is what I wish I knew before I launched Marketing Fun with Mike. So take action now, everybody. Everything has its time and place. It's time for you to find yours. That, by the way, is Outkast live at Lollapalooza. I went in Chicago, and it was an outstanding concert. If you like them, I suggest you see them while they're on tour this year.
That's
And
awesome.
kind of made me think about them and how they had their time and place, and they just said, we're not doing this anymore because we've created what we wanted to create, and when they felt the time was right, they started doing it again. And to me, that struck me as very authentic, very real, knowing what they want to do and how they want to do it. And that's how you want to do your personal brand. Don't let others just tell you, well, I mean, you got to keep making records. You can keep making more money. They weren't in it for that. You shouldn't be either.
Dare to be
So
an outcast.
how can yeah, yeah, much better to be an outcast. And if you are, you don't even have to wear one of those white funky wigs like Andre is in that photo.
Yeah.
So, but start creating value and building your personal brand now. You can sign up for the SCA, and when you do, you're going to get the personal brand ingredients cookbook that I created free from me. And if you already are a member of the SCA, I'll sign you up for my newsletter, and you can have the personal brand cookbook for free as well. So that's the action we're looking for you guys to all take tonight. And I'm going to actually now turn it over to Steve. He's going to go through what the SCA is, and then we're going to do some live Q&A.
Yeah, sounds great.
Great.
Great stuff as always, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, like Mike alluded to that hold on, let me get this. Okay. Mike alluded to the questions. Please go ahead and ask any questions that you guys have so we can do the live Q&A and we can figure that out and answer any questions that you guys need about your personal brand. So this will be a quick dive inside the SEA and let you guys know what it's all about. A lot of this, you can see I'm right here on the bonuses section. The dashboard, there's also all of our webinars that we record go up here. We have a bunch of live Q&As that we've done with people who have already made it and established themselves in sports.
Yeah.
All of those go up here in the archives. This networking tab right here is a Facebook and exclusive Facebook page, an exclusive LinkedIn page that only people in the SCA have access to. So that's exclusive networking with really successful people that have made it in the industry. So if you're looking for a job, then those are the people to talk to. If you're somebody who's looking for someone to hire, then there's people that are looking for jobs in here. So it really works both ways, and the networking is awesome in there for the people who use it. You can see here I'm on the bonuses page. This is really where we talked about personal brand tonight. You can really build out and learn how to build out your personal brand here. You can see we have Mike's book right up here up top. You can download it as a PDF. This 3X personal connection formula is where Lewis Howes has made his name pretty much, and that's really where you'll be able to meet and network people and also be able to get your personal brand out there once you've created your personal brand. This is the best way to do it. And then obviously a big part of the personal brand is an interview, the job interviews and the resumes and the cover letters, and we have all those PDFs. Usually we charge for them, but if you're a member of the SCA, you get all that stuff for free. So that's just some of the bonuses that you get. And then the other thing that I wanted to point out was the affiliate deals tab here. This is Facebook training. We also have, if I hover over, we also have YouTube video training and LinkedIn training. All that stuff is invaluable. And we all have affiliate deals where everybody's paying a lot more for this stuff. And we have a great offer for all of these 3 trainings. And like I said, once you build out your personal brand and take Mike's tips that he gave us tonight, and you have your personal brand built out and you're ready to show it, you still got to be able to show it to somebody. So the Facebook training, the YouTube training, and the LinkedIn training alongside this 3X connection formula, we really have a bunch of different ways that we can that we're going to be able to help you out, and we're going to be able to get your brand out there as well as we possibly can, as well as you possibly can, so that you can work exactly where you want to work in sports. So
What do
that's
we have in there, Steve? How many like webinars and those trainings
yeah,
and
the
live
lot,
Q&As do we have in
yeah,
there? Hundreds.
yeah, no, 100. I wouldn't be able to count them. When you asked me the question, we have. Let me get. We have 5 pages of these, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 per page. So we got almost. We're approaching 50 webinars now. We'll certainly be there soon because tonight's webinar is just another one that goes up into these archives. So, and then the live Q&As are really those are awesome. Those are a lot of fun to do. We've talked to Tiki Barber in the live Q&As. We've talked to Ted Sundquist, who was the former GM of the Denver Broncos, and they talk about their stories as well, which is fun because they are accomplished and successful, and they have some awesome stories. But they also talk about how they made it in the sports industry. So that's really what you want to hear if you're a member of the SEA, because those are good guys to follow in the footsteps of, and they have a good plan and a good action plan. So if you can hear any advice that they have, then that's definitely something to take home with you. So let
No,
me,
that's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. We're not seeing any questions in here just yet in this chat box. So please go ahead and ask any questions that you might have, because we want to help you out. That's kind of the other idea of the. I'm going to switch back to Mike's screen here real quick. The
Great.
whole idea of the SCA is we want to help you, and we want to help you find a job in sports. So this is just another part of it. And again, the link for the SCA to sign up for $9.97 for 30 days, which is a discount off of our monthly fee of $27 per month, plus get all those bonuses that Mike's offering you. Sportsexec.net/deal is that link there. So that's where you want to go to sign up. We can again we'll email it to you again tomorrow as well. So we do have a
And
question here from Joy. Go ahead and finish up, and
I
then we'll
was
get to
just
Joy's
saying,
question.
guys, just to jump in before and put in all your questions, whatever you guys want to ask right now. We have plenty of time to answer them
Yeah.
about your personal brand. But what I did tonight, I have it's the Marketing Fun with Mike Personal Brand Ingredients PDF. So if you sign up for the SEA tonight, my email is mike@marketingfunwithmike.com. Mike@marketingfunwithmike.com. Email me after you sign up, and I'll send you this PDF at no charge. That's my gift to you guys and a thank you to you guys for tuning in and paying attention and wanting to make a change and a difference in your life. And if you're already a member of the SEA, awesome. That's great. If you want that Marketing Fun with Mike Personal Brand Ingredients PDF, I will give it to you as well for free instead of at a charge. But I'd ask you to email me as well at mike@marketingfunwithmike.com, and I'll sign you up for my newsletter, which offers other great, amazing stuff twice a month. But want to give the current members of the SEA a little extra thank you as well. But if you're a current member, email me. I'll sign you up for my newsletter and send it to you. If you sign up tonight, same exact deal. It's a great deal. It's at sportsexec.net/deal.
Yeah, absolutely. You get a nice little twofer there, and then obviously there's a pitch at the end of these webinars, and a lot of them are trying to dupe you. This $9.97 for 30 days, I promise you, if you use it, you're gonna get your money's worth, and you can cancel at any time. We don't have
Yeah,
any problem with you doing that. But
the only reason this doesn't work is if you don't put in the work.
exactly.
It's well worth your money. But yeah, just like building the personal brand, anything you do in life, training for a race, building a relationship with a significant other, you got to put in the work.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you
But
can't
the
just
resources are there.
you can't just join and you're going to get a job offer tomorrow at your dream company. You got to put in the work, make the connections, lay the groundwork. So let's jump into the questions, though, Steve.
Yeah, we've had a question roll in from Joy. It's a two-parter, and it's a good one. So I'm gonna read through the whole thing here. It says, I have my own functional fitness company, and the platforms I'm currently using right now are social media, blogging, and a website. moving into YouTube and other video media marketing. And from the start, I've been branding my brand with the company name and rarely using my own face and name. I'm featured in photos and videos, but I rarely speak or personalize it anyway. Do you think that's a mistake? And Joyce saying, eventually the plan is for the brand to extend so far beyond me that the face name won't matter. But in the meantime, do you think it would be beneficial to make myself more visible?
Yeah, I do. Boy, quite honestly. And if you'd like to elaborate to me why it's gonna go so far beyond you, I can tackle that as well because I'm not quite sure what you mean by that part. But the driver in life is relationships. It's not because something's a good deal. It's not because of product features or things or materials. It is the relationship. And you have an opportunity through a lot of those videos that you're doing. Sounds like you're doing a lot of great stuff. You have an opportunity, I think, you don't have to let your whole personal life go out on the internet. That's not what I'm saying. You have a chance to say, this is Joy, this is my company, I want to help you get healthy, or it sounds like I'm just taking that from it being a fitness company. This is some of the stuff that I've been able to help other people with, and have some powerful testimonials, and just say, I want you on my team. Something as simple as that, letting people know. When I grew up as a 13-year-old in Florida, I always dreamt about, what if I can really make an impact in people's lives? Well, I think I'm doing that now, and I want you to join my team. Little ways like that. You're building a relationship with your audience. You're letting them know that you care, that you're not just taking a money cash grab, and that you're in it for the long haul. So, take from it what you will. It's not that you have to do that, but I think it's a great opportunity to really let yourself out there and let people know. And relationships are everything. And if you can build a relationship with your fans and your customers, it's gonna be incredible for what you're gonna be able to accomplish.
Absolutely, I hear that. Here we go. Here's a follow up from Joy. Actually, while you were answering her question, she just opened up a personal training studio. The plan is to open multiple locations, each serving a different purpose in the health and fitness industry. Obviously, you won't be able to be at every location all the time. So he wants the company to build a reputation for the service and work that we do, as opposed to people being attracted to me and me alone. So I think that she's more looking into the company being everywhere rather than her being everywhere, I think.
Yeah, and I get that. But there's still no, it's not like you're not going to walk into like it's like a Globo gym in the movie Dodgeball, and your Ben Stiller's like face all over the place. You can you can still have your impact with your story throughout all the locations, or just on your website and social media platforms behind the where it started and what it turned into. Um, I'd also, just a couple other tips and thoughts from that. Being able to tell those transformations of who you've already helped. I'm sure you're already doing that, but I just went through a 97-day fitness challenge for about 40 people here in Central Ohio that I helped out with, and seeing the changes those people made, and then the motivation that it provided other people to start making those changes. You have a real opportunity there, I think, from a visual standpoint and from an emotional standpoint, to really resonate with some people and help change their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. That the visual part is certainly something that could be taken advantage of there. That's good. And I would like to mention that we officially have a sign up during the webinar. John Sellinger has gone ahead and gotten into the SEA. So, John, we appreciate your sign up, and we look forward to seeing you in the SEA and taking full advantage. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us along the way as well. But we appreciate your sign up for sure. And
John,
then
make sure you email me, and I'll have that PDF for you in the next couple of days. I'm actually doing a speaking gig next Wednesday involving that PDF, and I'm actually making a couple extra additions to it this week just to make it had some stuff come up in the last few months that I wanted to make it even better and more valuable for people. So I'm in the process of finishing that up, but it might be a day or so, but we'll talk on email.
cool. Yeah, and then Nelson also had an observation for us that he wasn't aware that the beginning of your experiences, but he would like to obtain $350,000 in billings, let alone over a million. So hashtag still striving, and he enjoyed the presentation. So thanks for the comments, Nelson. We appreciate that. And
Awesome. Thanks, Nelson.
Yeah,
Good to hear from you, my man.
yeah, absolutely. I actually did have a question. Was there one
Now, let me
thing? Go ahead.
just so everybody's very clear on that, the radio, I mean, that's the revenue of which I sell at the radio station. That is not my take home.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. I am interested though, while we're waiting to see if other questions come in here. Was there one thing that maybe stood out that, because I mean that kind of jump in 1 year that's a big one. So was there something, one specific moment that happened where you really jumped that high in 1 year, or was it a steady climb?
It was from '09 to 2012.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was pretty quick. You know, I started building the personal brand, laying the groundwork with that, and really started digging in. And just I mean, because here's the thing, like it's the personal brand's not just what you're doing online. I committed myself though to that marketing funnel with my personal brand, and therefore when I went out in the real world with my clients, I no longer was, here's the deal of the week, here's this radio sales package. I was thinking like Marketing Fun with Mike, how I envisioned Marketing Fun with Mike to become. When somebody stumbled on my website and was like, oh my gosh, this is great. This guy knows the stuff. That's how I wanted my clients to feel as well.
Yeah.
So it really changed my mindset as well and how I went out in the world each and every day. But it went from like 350 to like 750 to 1.2 to like 1.6 to 1.8.
Yeah.
And between Steve, you and I, and the rest of the webinar attendees, it's probably going to be about that again this year. And partially it's my fault, but I've been working on Marketing Fun with Mike a lot. From a standpoint of building new programs for people, and I also helped in the community launch this 97-day Get Fit Challenge and a free youth basketball camp through the radio station, which were both awesome, but also took up a lot of time. And first year events are not the easiest things to sell people into. So anyway, that's kind of my story on that.
Yeah. Art actually mentioned he heard you say Central Ohio and his ears perked up. I think he's asking if you're in Columbus, which you are, right, Mike? Is that where we're coming from? Yeah, I went to Ohio State alum as well.
I am an Ohio State alum and current German Village resident.
And John, our newest SCA member, said he was excited to dig in. We're excited to see you in there. John, thanks again for your sign up. And Joy, just to close out our question star of the night, said she just opened in May 2014 and she's already done 2 community events, and one is a partnership with a local church. She's active in the community, and she knows it, and a lot of people know about the company. So she wanted to thank us for the words, and she's going to take them into consideration moving forward. And we thank her for being so active tonight, and seems like she's on the right track there, Mike.
Yeah, I think that's great, Joy. If you want to email me as well and just share a couple ideas and tips back and forth on that. I just went through our 97-day Get Fit Challenge, like I was saying, and we worked with about 20 individuals. It was very successful. We had a blast doing it. The winner, she lost 47 pounds in 97 days.
That's awesome.
She did it the right way. She did it with eating real food, gluten-free food, and working out with the personal trainer. It wasn't just, a fad crash diet.
Yeah, right.
So if you want to, Joy, I can, give you some insight from what I saw in my market, but there's a lot you can do with that. So keep it up.
For sure. And then Art wanted to know what station you were at. That was his follow up for for Columbus.
Oh, okay,
Um,
nice. Yeah. As long as you don't tell my manager what I just said about,
yeah, right.
about
Exactly.
no, he knows. It's all good. Yeah, 97.1 The Fan. It's the sports talk station in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we also have a question that just came in from Kurt. Thanks for your insight. He wants to know how you handle your work and brand building with the life spouse balance. So he's kind of wondering about the life balance when you're working so hard in your brand.
It's funny. You just kind of start to decide on what's important, I think, in life and what's most valuable. I had 12 weddings this year. We did not miss one of them for our friends. Um, I have, Steve, don't kill me here, but I've cut down on my fantasy football use.
Yeah,
uh, you know, and it's not anything against fantasy football, but I was spending, for a number of years, 2 hours, 3 hours a week that I now spend writing and
yeah,
building these programs.
yeah,
And there's I haven't cut out I have not cut out travel. I love to travel, but I've definitely cut out late weeknight happy hours that turn into early evening. And
yeah,
you just kind of you start to just balance things because you can't work 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day, and be healthy and have a good mind and be well rested if you're doing deep, hard strategy stuff. My goal with marketing fun with Mike, honestly, I mean, I have a full time job, and my goal, and I have two full time jobs, but my marketing fun with Mike stuff, it starts before I go into the radio station. If I'm home for lunch, there's some stuff to work on then, and then it goes at night until my consulting sessions, grill out sessions, I like to call them, are over. Until I'm done doing the webinar stuff, I'll probably do a half an hour's worth of work tonight after I'm done with this, but my brain can't handle much more than that. And you have to find because none of it's worth it if you don't have a work-life balance. I don't think either.
yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, you just get burnt out.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
I'd say you pick you. There's some things that you're probably doing that you're like, I mean, I do these things. They're okay, but I don't love them.
yeah,
And you know,
you'll
cut,
be surprised about how many of those things there are when you sit down and think about it too.
yeah, my advice would be take out a couple of those things and start using that to let your creativity run wild.
Sure. And our buddy Nelson, who made the observation about wanting to obtain the 350,000 and still striving, he just signed up for the SCA as well. So Nelson, we appreciate you jumping in and joining John and Mike and I and everybody that's already in the SCA, and we look forward to seeing you in there as well, Nelson. So I'm excited to get some new signups just even during the webinar. So
And
jump in
Nelson,
with
make
us.
sure, yeah, make sure you I know give me a shout on the email and I'll send that to you too.
Yeah, for sure. And then our last comment that's come in here right now, and then we only have 5 minutes left. If you have a last
Yeah,
minute
we can
question,
go.
then
We can go for 5 more minutes if anybody else has questions.
absolutely. If anybody's got another question, last minute question, go ahead and throw it in the chat box. And it was just Joyce telling you that she's going to probably reach out for some tips, so you can look out for that as well. And yeah, I
Great.
mean, we don't have anything else in the chat box. Maybe we can let it go for another couple seconds to see if anybody has a last second question here. But I think we've covered a lot of bases, and I think we've done really well tonight. And I'm excited to bring out your information to the people and to bring out the SEA information to the people on this webinar. And I'm excited to offer this deal because it's, like we said before, it's definitely worth it. And you can expect more webinars like this because this is exactly what our webinar archives are full of, is this invaluable information that Mike comes with every month. So
Yeah, there's plenty more, and I think Steve and I will be back 4 weeks from tonight. I think, what's that, October 1st?
yeah, something close to that. Yeah, we
The
uh
30th?
we
Should
usually
be,
figure out the dates later, but
yeah,
yeah,
something right around there.
yeah,
I'm
something
gonna
like that.
be I'm gonna be hanging out in Yosemite National Park on October 8th, so I know we're not doing it then.
Yeah, so we kind of know when it is, but we're not exactly sure. But you could check out the emails for
We'll
that
be
as well. Yeah,
Hey, thanks, Steve, for all your help, and thanks everybody for tuning in.
yeah,
Remember, that's the deal right there. Sign up. Either way, if you're a member, sign up for. If you're not a member, sign up, and if you are a member, you can still email me and get the personal brand ingredients PDF. So
absolutely. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on as always, Mike, and we appreciate you, the attendees. These webinars wouldn't exist without you guys, so we appreciate you guys jumping on and asking all your questions and listening to it. So I appreciate everything, and we'll talk to everybody next month.
sounds great. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night.
See you guys.